Imagine you are working for an online retailer that discounts prices regularly to keep stock moving. Sales are announced at multiple points on the website, but what's the best way to keep this information up to date? For example, updating items individually would be tedious and time consuming. Fortunately, it's possible to change information at a single point and have everything else update automatically to match. This idea illustrates a parent-child relationship, and in this video, you'll explore this concept as it applies to React. By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe the parent-child unidirectional flow of data, and you'll gain an understanding of the hierarchy of React. Let's start with an example of two components which will be used in the same app. First is the promo component, which will return the content of the promo heading component that you will create later. To build the promo component, you can declare the function promo and then write a return statement inside of curly braces. This statement has a div, inside of which promo heading is called. This is then followed by the line export default promo to make the component accessible. Next, let's write the promo heading component. You can declare function promo heading and in curly braces type return opening parenthesis h1 tag the text 80% off sale, h1 closing tag and closing parenthesis. Once again, don't forget to export the component to make it available. Success! You've now created the component promo, which calls a function from the component promo heading to return the text 80% off sale. In this example, the promo component is known as a parent component, and the component it renders, promo heading, is referred to as the child component. Now let's say that the discount increases to 99% off, and you need to update the code to reflect this. One approach is to update the text inside of the h1 tags in the promo details component. That's a quick fix because there is only one change to deal with. However, let's explore a more complex situation. This time, your manager asks you to call the promo heading component in the sidebar and footer component of the web app, in addition to the promo component. They also want two messages displayed: 99% of all items and everything must go. These new requirements mean that the approach of updating the child component will not work quite as well. Why is that? Well, it means that you now have to update multiple components with the same data. This is not in line with the general programming principle of DRY, or don't repeat yourself, which aims to reduce needless code replication. Also, consider the following possibilities. While entering the same text into several components, it's possible you make a typing error. Also, what if your boss decides to change the discount again? It means you'll have to change the text in all the connected components once more. But instead of writing the same code over and over, you can change your approach. You can establish a single source of truth that contains the two strings that store the values for the texts 99% of all items and everything must go. This will be contained within the parent component so that any data needed can be passed on to the child components using props. Now let's use this approach to update the promo component. First, you create a single source of truth, a JavaScript object named data. Data is an object that will contain two properties named heading and call to action, both represented as strings. Next, you update the promo component to pass the heading and the call to action values of the data object to the promo heading component. This is known as passing data from the parent to the child component. Back inside the promo heading component, you update it to accept data from its parent component. To do this, you'll need to first delete the existing h1 in the return statement, and then add a new h1 for props.heading and an h2 for props.calltoaction. Now this component accepts a props object, specifically its two properties, heading and call to action. The values of the props object are determined in the parent component when you add the specific JSX element that should be rendered. This was achieved when you rendered the promo heading inside the promo component. Here, you access the properties on the data object using the regular dot notation syntax of plain JavaScript. Knowing this, you can now code the sidebar component and the footer component in a similar way to the promo heading component. Remember that in React, the props data always flows from the parent to the child component. And using props helps you avoid the need to change the data in several places. Instead, you make the change at the data source, the parent, and the updates will be applied to the child automatically. In this video, you learned how the parent-child relationship can be set up so that data flows from parent to child. By storing data in the parent component, you can dynamically pass it to the child component without the need to update children individually.